Ladies and gentlemen, it's lightning round. It's a different type of lightning round. It's not our typical Tuesday stream. We're recording this on Monday, so it'll probably come out Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe even later. But whenever it comes out, we are doing our FFPC Pros versus Joe's team. And Britt, I don't know if you're excited as I am. I'm sure you are, but this is like heavyweight battle. This is like a 20 round slugfest with some of the best Joes on FFPC main event, early bird entrants, and pros like JJ Zachariason, Kerrane, Jared Smola. So I'm incredibly excited. How are you?
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. I've, I did the main event FFPC and the ADPs a little bit different than from a lot of the sites you're used to drafting with. And it just goes off the rails quick, to be quite honest. So I'm ready to get in there and see how everything falls.
It really does go off the rails very quickly. And just to kind of set the table here with what we are looking at. So, as far as the format, it is one quarterback, two running back, two wide receivers, tight end, two flexes. It's 20 rounds, and it is tight end premium. So, you will see tight ends fly off the board just a little bit higher than typically you're used to. I know we do a lot of drafts on Underdog, we do a lot of drafts on an NFC and best ball 10s and stuff like that. So if you see, we do have the 102. So really, we're in the conversation of two guys, Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelce, I would say, with the lean toward Travis Kelce. I would say fingers crossed, but Jefferson's a pretty good consolation prize.
Yeah, I would be fine with Jefferson, but Kelce is the guy that I'm really looking at. If you look at the FFPC main event last year, 70% of people who had the Mahomes Kelce stack advanced. And that's what I'm looking at right now, is to hope that we can get Kelce and hopefully, fingers crossed, Mahomes on that second round turn. And looks like we got Kelce.
So. I mean, can't beat it. It allows us to get the optionality of, we get the onesie position taken care of with Travis Kelce. Obviously, its best ball format is not managed or season long, so we don't have to send any lineups here. So you are going to have to take multiple at the onesie positions, a quarterback and tight end. Obviously, running backs and wide receivers. We'll get to those, but being able to lock up Kelce, who is just such a positional advantage at tight end, can't beat it.
No, even last year, if you look at how everybody fell overall, Kelce was 12th overall, even among quarterbacks. And that's just regular PPR. This is 1.5. So I think that if we can end up getting Kelce and Mahomes together, we're going to be in really, really good shape starting off here.
Absolutely. And also, we noticed his absence. Andrew Cooper just had him and Kate had their baby girl, Lainey J. Cooper. So congrats to them, obviously. And we're going to draft this one for Lainey J. We're going to come out a winner here and get that main event spot, which is the grand prize, by the way. If you finish first in your 12-team league with the Pros versus Joes, you do win an FFPC main event spot. Which is about $1,900 for a spot. So that is up for grabs. Second place gets you absolutely nothing. So it's really just go big or go home.
Yeah, and I'm all about that. I never liked the second place consolation prizes. So I'm down with the go big or go home situation here.
Yeah, you have never known me to play it safe in any draft I have ever been in. So I think we're in good hands here, especially with Kelce. We'll see what's going on with the rest of the board. CMC, Jamar Chase taking almost a little bit of a slide down to 1-4, but obviously JJ Zachariason picking him up there. Bijan Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler, Stephon Diggs. So we'll see what happens. Pat Kerrane, who we had on to do our wide receiver preview at the very end of the draft at 112. Glad he is on the opposite end of the draft board, but never comfortable when you have JJ Zachariason just 2 spots away from you either.
Yeah, I saw the list of everybody who was going to be in this draft, and I was like, well, Not cutting us any breaks today, are they?
Well,
I was like, okay, this is going to be great. But I think it is going to be great, and they say that to be the best, you have to beat the best. So I'm glad to be included in that company.
the old Ric Flair adage.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo! I can't do it. I'm not going to try to do that. But what's funny is looking back at the past pros versus Joes from earlier, the first and second drafts before Saquon Barkley signed, he was going in mid third. And now, obviously they got a big discount in those earlier drafts because Saquon Barkley goes 111 here. AJ Brown to Pat, where he's going to make his turn pick in a few seconds here. So, going to be interesting to see what he does and what we have coming back to us, because that's, obviously we're going to be taking the best player available and kind of stay with our structure. But the earlier in the draft, I talked about it on Lightning Round when we were talking to Pat about how I'm not the biggest fan of those early draft slots because you can get locked out of some wide receivers or maybe even quarterbacks, and obviously tight end, is very interesting too because it is tight end premium.
Yeah, and it feels so easy to go in with a strategy in these early picks, but you're right. If one player goes off the board, it can completely derail your entire strategy. And then you're like, wait, what do I do? What's going to happen? And so fingers crossed, that's not what is going to happen to us here. It seems like everybody is going pretty balanced. There's a Mark Andrews in the early second. So
yeah,
again, that tight end premium, Jahmyr Gibbs.
That was
going
interesting.
In the second.
I would have.
Did you hear the hype coming out of camp today?
I have not. Please fill us in.
So I don't want to misphrase this, but it was something to the extent of the fact that he was being heavily utilized in the receiver game, even more so than he was at Alabama, that he's been lining up a lot in the slot. And I know with, running backs, we hear that all the time just because that's something. Yes. Okay. I did find it. I found the exact thing. So Jahmyr Gibbs said recently he's been playing a lot more as a receiver with the Lions than he did at Bama. He's reportedly on the field for almost every first team snap. He's even deployed at wide receiver when David Montgomery comes into play running back. And he reportedly had the play of the day today, breaking off a 50-yard run with pads on. So, I mean, we tried to not get too heavy into training camp hype, but that's about as good as you can get.
That's
50
where I
yard with pads.
Yeah, that's, and it's funny when we were talking about our draft, he was like a target of ours to either be in that third round or even that second pick. And we are going to be up here in just a pick. So there's still a good Chris Olave is out there. We have Derrick Henry, who I wouldn't be opposed to. There's also Patrick Mahomes, who we could just lock up Kelce to Mahomes. I know the advance rates last year weighted very heavily on the Kelce Mahomes teams.
And in a best ball situation, that is a stack. And obviously stacking in best ball is the thing. Yes, he made it back to us. I think Mahomes is, yes, that's a smash. That is a smash.
Let's do it.
Yeah, baby.
All right. And we are set to do whatever we want now, which is, I mean, not that we couldn't before, but Kelce Mahomes pretty much locks up to where we can maybe take two late guys at tight end and take maybe a late quarterback and then just go running back, wide receiver. You can't beat it.
Yeah, I think that this is the perfect spot. I'm very surprised that nobody had taken a quarterback at this point in time, but we've seen with some of these industry leagues that quarterbacks do tend to fall. And I'm very glad that Mahomes fell to us at the end of the second.
Yeah. So we get the pick here. There's T. Higgins available. There's the Jonathan Taylor is still there. He could be on a new team by the time week 1 starts. Where are you leaning here? Do you want to take the dip on Jonathan Taylor and kind of go from there?
I'm very worried about Taylor. I've been worried about Taylor regardless.
I'm fine with Higgins. Really, I mean, that really makes the bet on Cincinnati, Kansas City. This is self-contained.
Correlation. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that with Higgins.
Yeah. It's a self-contained league, but even just a skinny stack and with a bring back is still great to at least have that. So getting Higgins, and we're going to have our, choice of pretty good running backs coming back as well. So I'd be totally fine taking a running back, taking an anchor, and then just kind of play in the board, because Kelsey Mahomes just frees us up to do whatever you want. So
yeah, we can basically just play value.
Yeah, exactly. And then just take, obviously we're in the second, so kind of bang those picks, and we see 103 is going very high testosterone with McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor. Him taking that dip on Taylor. I know that's very worrying. Did you see how he was walking when he was at practice?
He looked like a different human. He looked
like he needed a cane.
Well, and he looked pissed. Like Jonathan Taylor, if you watch like the Hard Knocks and all of the different just footage of him prior to this season, he's like this happy-go-lucky, very enthusiastic kid. And
Right.
Just the body language and the look on his face, he looks like a different person because he looks so pissed. And rightfully so. I would be too, because I'm not going to go totally into my diatribe because I've done enough of these.
We've got time. We've got a lot of time between picks.
But it's bullshit how these running backs are getting treated. And it's especially bullshit that he's a second round pick, doesn't even get the 5th round option situation added on. And then Irsay just flat out tells you the best player on his team, nope, we're not going to extend you. The disrespect, I don't care, people who are like, just go out and play, you're making millions. Yeah, they're making millions, but they're not only running the ball, they're playing in pass pro, they're doing special teams. I mean, running backs do so much for a team. They are critical to the success of actual on the field football teams. And it's outrageous how they're getting treated. So I don't blame him for being that mad. And then if Irsay wants to play hardball, saying that he's going to put him on the NFI list, if he gets put on the NFI list, he's out for the entire year. That's not, I don't like that. I don't like Josh Jacobs for that same reason. I feel like a holdout is kind of imminent with him because he dealt with that whole 5th year option last year. Mm-hmm. And then not to mention that the Raiders offense is kind of going to be a little sus. So anyway, that's my running back speech. I'll let us get back to the draft.
I am not going to pile on the running back. I mean, I understand the plight of running backs, and I think just the way the CBA is, I don't think anything can be done, just kind of on the fly now. I think that's going to be a main point of contention when the owners and they ratify the CBA and do all that with the Players Association. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, I want to say that's like 2026.
It's 2030.
But
what they can do is add an addendum and change. So that's their course of action right now. But yeah, if they don't do that, it's 7 whole years until another CBA comes up. So it's a very long time.
Yeah. Where I feel like this is, we're going to be hearing about this until, just something shit hits the fan. I mean, it's already hitting the fan, but crazy stuff. In tight end premium, I mean, don't get me wrong, I will bang the drum for TJ Hawkinson. I just don't know about that particular price at 307 for him with so much. I mean, he's in the kind of dead zone for wide receivers anyway. And then we've got the issues with the running backs with Taylor and Jacobs. Jacobs still hasn't gone yet, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't like that compared to guys like Waller and Kyle Pitts and even George Kittle. I'd rather have those guys a round or two later than spending a third on Hawkinson.
Yeah, with Hawkinson, you're betting on him getting the second most targets on the team. And with Adam Thielen being old and dusty and whatever he was last season, that was fine. That worked out. But we've seen a lot from Jordan Addison in training camp. I mean, yes, again, it's training camp. Let's try not to get too hype about it. But his route running is so good, and he is shaking everybody. And he's also built a connection with Kirk Cousins. So in that situation, I think that Hawkinson falls to potentially third on the team in targets. And our best friend, Andrew Cooper, has said over and over again, especially with these elite guys, you want them to be top 2 on the team in targets. And if they're not, what are you doing? And I think that that's the situation that we're falling in with Hawkinson right now.
Yeah, I mean, the bet is, just that the Vikings are so efficient, and that efficiency combines with that condensed, offense, and that's pretty much what you're banking on with between Jefferson, Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and then the rest goes to the running back, and they can do whatever. I mean, I'm totally not writing a hit piece right now on Alexander Madison that you'll be able to see on Fantasy Alarm in the next week or so, but Breece Hall, Lamar Jackson at the turn for Pat. I knew he was going to take Breece Hall. I know intimately that he loves Breece Hall, and that price is pretty good, but did not expect Lamar Jackson. Not going to lie. I mean, I'm sure 109 with Mark Andrews is not liking
Very
that.
mad.
Probably had him queued up. I would almost guarantee it because I would have.
Yeah. I mean, but that's kind of the name of the game too, right? Like you don't let stacks fall to other people. So not only are you playing offense, you're playing a little bit of defense here. And if Lamar is going to both throw for 4,000 yards and still be able to scramble, he does have upside. I've voiced my concerns about Jackson. I don't necessarily think that he's going to be able to do that and or stay healthy. It's pretty worrisome to me. And then Todd Monken's offense, Rashad Bateman's already on the pup list. Zay Flowers, as good as he is, he's a very small guy. And in the NFL up against these bigger corners, I worry a little bit about him. Then you have Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely in there. So how's the personnel change out going to work when you've got those two bigger guys in there? Is Flowers going to get put to the side? And then Odell Beckham. We don't even have to talk about Odell Beckham and his concerns. So there's just a lot of unknowns on that Ravens offense that are kind of pushing me away from Jackson at the price point.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's got to be a wait and see. It's going to be once we get a visual of how the Ravens are going to distribute snaps and everything, how much, who's coming off the field. Because right now we can probably make an educated guess that it's going to be, if healthy, Rashad Bateman and Odell Beckham in two wide receiver sets, and then Zay Flowers, whether it's Aguilar coming off, maybe likely play some slot too. I think that could be interesting too. But I think there's a lot to be to shake out, but I still think that's pretty tantalizing with Lamar in a Todd Monken offense. I don't know if I believe that he's going to be running a lot less to where you're really capping his upside, but I still think he's in that at least the elite discussion. I think he's closer to Allen, Mahomes, Hurts than he is to the Herbert Burrow tier, but Travis Etienne is someone I would have really liked.
Oh, see, I'm so out on Etienne. I'm out on him.
I think at least in the end of the fourth, I think that's pretty good value, but we've actually got some.
Najee was going to fall. That's who I wanted. But Aaron Jones, I really like Aaron Jones. I know that you're a Packers fan, but
criminally underrated every year. His touches are managed, but he's pretty efficient on them. And it's a bet on Jordan Love, if he can, navigate this passing offense. Aaron Jones is going to be in a good position yet again. So I think, we'll see. We got 3 picks to dodge. We got 2 picks to dodge here. I think we could probably just split the difference and go wide receiver and running back here, with Jones being one of them. Hopefully, Debo goes here. How do you feel about Jerry Jeudy?
I love Jeudy. I do love Jeudy.
Wait, you want to take Jeudy here and then with the hope that Aaron Jones comes back to us? Or
I think we can do that. I think that'll work. But also, you mentioned that it's a bet on Jordan Love. I think not only is it a bet on Jordan Love, we've never seen what LaFleur can do without Rodgers out there like calling audibles. So right. I think when he gets to run his actual offense the way that he wants to, he's going to heavily rely on that run game to give Jordan Love a little bit of a pass and let him kind of acclimate to this offense. So I think that Jones, and, I've been an AJ Dillon fan for years. I think this is the year that it's finally going to happen. It's finally going to happen. And if it doesn't happen this year, then I'm just quitting him forever. But the way that all the cards are falling, I think that it's set up for them to both have fantasy value.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw AJ Dillon kind of disappoint last year too, which I think helped Aaron Jones at least with the rushing. We know Aaron Jones is a dark horse to be the second target in as far as the most targets in that offense. Dallas Goedert goes to 101, so we're kind of sweating this pick here. This could be a spot where Aaron Jones goes, but if Jones goes, what are we looking at, another receiver? Or are we? Ken Walker's out there, but that's dicey as well.
Yeah. I think, man.
We've got McLaurin, Drake London, DJ Moore.
I like Miles Sanders. I do really like Miles Sanders. And I know that you don't like him, but just the 3-down profile that he has, plus all of the speak around his role, I really, really like him. We'll see. We'll just wait. We'll just wait and see what happens.
We will see. Serenity now. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, thank God we can take Aaron Jones.
There we go. We don't have to fight.
Oh, boy. It is never a fight to take the guy that followed me on Twitter after I had a thread earlier in the winter. So not going to complain one bit. Look at that start. Look at that start.
That's gorgeous.
And we talk, and also, you know what I don't think we talk about enough is that we talk about stacking. Week 17 is all that matters, but Judy gets to play Kansas City twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the divisional stacking, obviously they're playing twice and it's going to be at random weeks, but I think that's something to maybe play a little bit. It's not going to be like something you're making a decision on with a player, but it's another kind of feather in the cap where you're hoping those games go off. And especially in the AFC West with the Chargers, with Broncos, Raiders might not be that good, but that could be something where, Devontae Adams could just go off, in another best ball. Obviously not this one. We didn't get Adams, but I think that's something interesting to think of as well.
Yeah. And Kansas City had problems with their secondary last season and they didn't really do a ton to address it.
Yeah.
They got by on the fact that their offense was so efficient that it didn't even matter. So that those games are going to be high scoring. And with the improvement on Sean Payton's offense, and then the fact that, they unfortunately lost Tim Patrick today. They lost KJ Hamler with the intention to bring him back, but who knows how long that's going to be. Judy should be on the field every single snap. He should run every single route and be out there all the time, regardless of whether or not Cortland Sutton's the X and whatever. He's going to see the routes. He's going to see the volume. He's going to see the targets.
Yep. I think sorry. Go ahead.
No, I stopped in my tracks because the Hawkinson Kittle, they're going a little bully on us.
Yeah, well, double tight end action. I think John Paulson, the last draft in the 101 took he took Kelsey and Hawkinson in the third. He took Hawkinson in the third, but yeah, bully tight end's pretty popular. But what was I gonna say? About Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, now that with Tim Patrick likely out for the year, a terrible, terrible injury yet again. About this time, I think that happened this Wednesday last year. Mm-hmm. I think it was on August 2nd, and that's awful. Now it's an Achilles reportedly. So
yeah, full tear.
Yeah, not good. And now, if there's any shred of doubt about how these routes are going to shake out in Denver, I think Patrick now obviously being out solidifies Judy. I think it solidifies Sutton a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now too, because that profile, we saw it 2 years ago when Patrick was healthy and Sutton was out, that Patrick was pretty much Sutton light, I would say, and had a lot of touchdown upside. So I think that solidifies Sutton a little bit more. I think we could see him and his ADP come up a little bit more. KJ Hamler's been out. Mims has had I think a hamstring or a claw or a calf or something.
He should be back within the week though.
Right. So I think that he gets maybe a little bit of a bump too.
Oh yeah. He has been the talk of the town on Twitter. Even old fantasy receipts tweeting about him today.
Fantasy receipts.
Fantasy receipts. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Tweeting. Somebody said that, it's time for Mims to take over, which, let's be honest, it is. Who else?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Kendall Hinton? No, it's not.
No.
So
Tyree Cleveland?
it's just, it's connecting the dots that he's rationally the third wide receiver, and somebody, well, I guess I've already named names, but they were like victory lapping already. And I'm like, that's connecting the dots. It's not a victory lap. It's just stating the obvious.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know.
We'll see what Pat does here. I know they're talking it out on Ship Chasing. Yeah. I think that was going to be an interesting conversation if Ken Walker, people were really scared off of him on our way back. But yeah,
I worry with Hall and Walker though, back to back, or not basically back to back. I mean, oof.
They're playing Breece Hall's a late upside play. Hopefully he can get on the field a little sooner, and then Ken Walker.
But what happens if Cook signs with the Jets? How does that eat into Hall's outlook?
The only thing that it does for me is it gives me a cheaper Breece Hall to draft, where I don't have to draft in the third round. That's where I like that, because if that's the bet on talent, is betting that if Breece Hall slips into maybe the 4-5 turn, that's a great price considering the running backs there, where you've got the Alexander Madisons and you've got the Cam Akers and guys like that. Mm-hmm. So in a typical underdog. But yeah, I think that's very interesting. Don't like that price on Trevor Lawrence there. JSN would have been really nice to get. But this is full PPR, remember, too. So we are going to give a little bit of a bump to some of the guys that are just target earners on their team. We'll see what comes back to us. But depending on, obviously I've got quarterback and tight end clicked off. I think we're really just in the running back and wide receiver tier for a little while here, unless somebody just falls that has no business of falling. Don't know. I just don't. Go ahead.
I'm kind of looking at Rachaad White, honestly, like Rachaad White or David Montgomery at this turn. I think more so White because of all the dump downs. If he falls to us, I think that full PPR really lends itself to us. But I'm also looking at Kirk if you want to take a receiver.
If I'm going to take,
there he goes. So
I like Deontay Johnson. I've been drafting Deontay Johnson almost everywhere just because you don't get 140 targets. They don't grow on trees. Yeah. Like that's minimum. And you got to figure Kenny Pickett. We've seen the worst of Kenny Pickett. Maybe he's a little bit better, but Deontay Johnson's not going to score 0 touchdowns again either. So that's, I think Mike Evans is still criminally underrated. Marquise Brown, I don't mind just because I know even with the bad quarterbacks, they're still going to have to throw the ball. Pittman, I'm fine with. He's a QBR wide. These are all our wide receiver threes. Oh. Pickens went ahead of Johnson.
Yeah. Back-to-back picks. Man. I think the hype.
Yeah.
The hype today coming out of camp with Pickens saying that he's just a mean man is inflating this.
How do you feel about Pittman, Evans, or Jordan Addison there, and then maybe taking a Rachaad White on the way back?
Yeah, I could deal with. I think I like Pittman the most, just being the wide receiver one. Addison would be fine.
Pick one. Addison or Pittman?
Let's go Pittman. All Pittman. Right. I'm trying to talk it out in my brain, and it's just not working too well.
Well, I like getting a bunch of these wide receivers in this area here. Just being able to solidify that. We see, JJ Zachariason going full on anchor with 5 wide receivers and Ramondre. That's a pretty good start.
And this is you only start 2 wide receivers.
You can start a max of 4.
Right.
Let me see here.
But in these situations where you do completely punt tight end and tight end premium, like we've got Team 10 that's punted tight end and JJ who is punted tight end.
Quite a few have.
How well does that work out for you?
You got to take him in volume.
Yeah, but does it actually work out? Like, if you take these late round guys, like, I don't know, Juwan Johnson, I kind of like him, but like Irv Smith and just a bunch of these guys in those lower tiers, I don't like them.
You really got to ping pong. I mean, a touchdown gets these guys in your lineup. So
Yeah.
I think you could just ping pong like a Trey McBride, a Mike Gesicki, a Michael Mayer. You could for some late season upside. Montgomery goes on the turn. I'm trying to think. Do you like Rachaad White there, or do you like maybe a couple of the running backs afterwards better? I mean, how do you feel about maybe kicking the can down another round on a running back and taking another wide receiver while they're still here?
I mean, which receivers are available?
And Rachaad White goes.
He did go. Okay. Yep.
Would you feel good with Addison there?
Yeah, we can take Addison here. That way we can get both. And then my decision didn't matter.
I'm surprised Rachaad White went there, honestly. But
people have been really high on him, and I've spoken my piece about White. He's not really efficient at all as a runner, but those check downs and that ability to break off as a pass catcher is going to be huge with Baker Mayfield throwing in the ball. And let's be real, it's going to be Baker. It's not going to be Trask. It's going to be Mayfield.
Yeah, and White's college profile, he was one of the best yards per route run running backs, like historically in the past, like 7 or 8 drafts. It was literally CMC and Kenyon Drake who had higher yards per route run than Rachaad White. So he didn't have a great year last year though. But I don't know if that's really we can excuse just the state of the offense where it was literally the only thing that there was volume. There was no efficiency there really whatsoever. In the probably the worst running back group and performance wise in
their offensive line was trash.
Well, they lost Jensen, and obviously they kind of shored that up. They're getting all those guys back. Plus they added Cody Mock. So it should be better. But Tampa Bay never really added. I mean, I guess if you can count Sean Tucker and Chase Edmonds, but
nobody counts Chase Edmonds.
Nobody has counted Chase Edmonds since he had like those 2 games against the Giants. That one game against the Giants when he was a Cardinal.
Yeah. Nope. I think Chase Edmonds was over 2 or 3 years ago when he was with the Cardinals and led to the emergence of James Conner. That was Chase Edmonds' swan song.
That was a fun year because I drafted so much James Conner that year. Well, he was going in like the 8th round or something like that. It was stupid. It ended up being RB7.
Yep. We were right. We were so right. Yeah. I love being right looking back. I think that was the year that Cooper Kupp went off, that Debo went off. I had so much Kupp, Debo, and James Conner that I was just crushing everything.
And then last year, you and me were both at Algier.
Yeah, we were. We were on Algier as soon as he got drafted. Oh, this is going very bully. So we've got 3 right here. Oof. That is sassy.
The Cups runneth over with tight end.
Yeah. Yes, they
with
do.
Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp for Daniel Cups. The Cups runneth over.
Yep. I mean, he's on brand.
Well, I mean, when your parents, land in Ellis Island and are given the last name Cups, you got to do what you can with it.
True. It is very true. I think that's interesting, though. I kind of like that coming back with Freiermuth because Kittle has been injured quite a bit. He's never played a full season. We don't really know who the quarterback is going to be. And although he did the best he did all year with Brock Purdy, we still don't know how that quarterback room is going to shake out. So I think that taking Freiermuth there was actually kind of a little bit of some insurance. And I don't hate it. I hate it for us. I don't hate it for that build.
I don't hate it for us at all. It starves the beast. Like people are going to be probably panicking a little bit now, wanting to get a tight end, and we've got Kelsey. So I think we're sitting very well right now with Kelsey Mahomes. We got our anchor in Aaron Jones. We've got 4 wide receivers. The world is our oyster right now, and everybody is going to have to reach up for Dalton Kincaid or Chika Okonkwo to try to kind of just middle it at tight end when we don't have to. We're eating filet mignon. They're eating White Castle.
We do not besmirch Dalton Kincaid on this podcast.
I did say in the group chat, though, I will say that I like his price a little bit better now because he has gone down around.
Which is crazy because you would think that he would be sitting the same or moving up a little bit with all
didn't
the
you hear,
hype
though?
that he's getting.
All rookie tight ends are bad.
They all suck forever. I mean, Kyle Pitts, God, 1,000 yards.
Who needs it?
Who needs it? Freiermuth had a great rookie season.
Yeah, he had like,
and
what,
he would have
8, 9
been better.
touchdowns?
Yeah, and he would have been better had he not missed several games with concussions. I mean, he had a good rookie season that people tend to overlook. But
and
all
had
rookie
the
tight ends
corpse
are
of
bad.
and had the corpse of Ben Roethlisberger not been thrown in the ball either.
Yes.
Pat's taking a lot of running backs, but he's taking good profiles. So
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think this has got to be a wide receiver, I would say. I think he's going to play tight end very late here.
Yeah, because I think there's such a tier break here with tight end. None of them really stand out.
Yeah, he's not going to take a tight end, and he's going to take like 2 or 3. And then he'll probably take a wide receiver here. He doesn't have to touch running back for a while either. So I feel like, I know how this structure is going to go, where he's got Lamar, he's fine. He's going to take he's mulling over probably Treylon Burks right now.
Probably.
Him or quit. Let me look at Lamar. I think he's weighing whether he wants to take Zay Flowers or Bateman, but I think he goes Treylon Burks here.
Let's see. He's got 5 seconds.
Oh, Gabe Davis. Okay.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I mean,
how do you feel about Gabe Davis with Kincaid? I guess for best ball, he's fine because he's still got that like big playability, but I just still think he's honestly a little too expensive.
A little bit.
Even in round 8.
A little bit, but remember, we're talking about Gabe Davis, and the prevailing narrative is, he was such a bust last year. And to a degree he was at his ADP, but who else were you taking around him? Because you were taking Allen Robinson, and around that ADP of wide receivers, he was the best pick in that ADP group.
I was taking running backs, Kevin. That's who I was taking.
I've never heard of him.
And then
in this
Javonte,
economy,
this number 11 is super running back heavy, which is interesting.
Yeah. Pacheco goes. He's a guy that usually falls because I know obviously he's going to be out for, at least he's banged up still he had surgery.
And Deneric Prince has looked good.
Our generation's Isaiah Pacheco.
Exactly. Somebody said on Twitter the other day, "Oh my God, it's happening again." Like a 7th rounder is taking over.
It's like Groundhog Day. Like Bill Murray just woke up again, and it's happening.
It is. And poor CEH, man.
Ned Ryerson?
I've never seen Groundhog Day.
What? Oh, Howard's going to have you in a blender.
Probably. He called me yesterday to tell me that I was fired because I said that animal crackers weren't a top 5 cookie.
I like the iced ones. Those are my favorite.
It literally says cracker in the name.
I never understood that branding.
They're not cookies.
How are you getting kids to eat these when you're calling them crackers?
They're not cookies. They're not cookies. It's like heart attack and gruel.
I think we got a decision here. If a running back that I'm looking at, and I know there's one that you're looking at, falls here. And I don't want to say it. I don't want to Voldemort it. We both know who it is. If he gets there, I think he's a smash where we get him.
I think there's a couple actually that, Yep. Oh, this is making me nervous.
We have 4 picks to sweat.
I know. And
I don't think
it's 105 degrees here.
I'm wearing a hoodie.
No, I was wearing one because I just turned on the AC, and as soon as it shut off, it was like sauna.
I think JJ is the landmine where he could take him. If he doesn't, I think we're free and clear. Because I think
Team 3 has so many.
Although JJ could take a quarterback. Maybe not. There's nobody really out there for any stacks or anything. So
what are we doing here? Everybody is thinking very hard.
We really haven't had to think, which has been great, honestly.
No, I love not thinking. It's my favorite.
That's what I do. That's what I do best. Ah, there it is.
Yep. Yep. Ugh. It's okay. There's still some good. I think.
And the other guy, god damn it.
Yeah, we got double sniped. That's a bitch.
What Elijah Moore?
So I love Elijah Moore, and I think that we can probably get Cook, Kamara, or Perrine on the turn, and I'm happy with any of those three. So I think Elijah Moore is going to crush.
That's where I'm at as far as taking one of those three, whatever falls.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, Elijah Moore, take a running back.
Well, we know we're going to get one of those three because he's only got 2 picks in front of us. So we're gold, right?
Exactly. And, you know, Kamara's, people don't talk about, I mean, Kerrane, we're expecting him to be out for 6 games or even 4. We'll see, maybe 8. But no matter what, he still represents pretty good late season upside. If they use him how they used him 2 years ago and not just barreling him into the line. Now they have Jamal Williams that they can do that with. They can deploy Kendre Miller how they want. And hopefully Kamara can still be that receiving threat that he was 2 years ago, get some of that wear and tear off his body and get back to efficient Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, and a lot of these receivers in the Saints offense profile as outside vertical guys. Like, yes, they can run great routes. Michael Thomas, especially with the slant, but who knows how his health's going to be totally honest. And so outside of that vertical ability, Kamara is the guy who fits in for those short yardage kind of little dump off screens and things like that. So, there goes Zay Flowers. I really think that Kamara, if he doesn't get suspended, he said today that he expects to meet with Goodell.
Yeah.
Which was weird that he expects to meet with him. Like, just say whether or not you're meeting with him.
Right. Like,
kind of weird.
Quit playing the game with us. We know what's going to happen. Like, he's milking the clock a little bit. We'll see what happens here, but
making us sweat.
Perrine goes. So smash Kamara.
I mean, at least Kamara has a landing spot. I think Kamara has higher upside than Dalvin Cook, to be honest. So, yeah, we'll go ahead.
I agree. That's fine. A great running back group in 2020, but I'll still take it in 2023 with Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara.
You know what? They are some of the perennial ones who just haven't fallen off yet. And until they show signs of falling off, I'm not really going to be mad about them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Michael Thomas, there he goes.
Yeah. We're through 9 picks here for the audio listeners. We'll service the audio listeners here. Travis Kelce, out of the 102, by the way. Tight end premium, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, and a tight end. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, Aaron Jones as our anchor running back, Michael Pittman, Jordan Addison, Elijah Moore, and Alvin Kamara, our first 9 picks. I am very happy with this start as far as getting wide receivers in the wide receiver group, getting top quarterback, top tight end, and then getting 2 solid enough running backs that still have pretty good upside.
Yeah, the upside there is insane. And speaking of insane, it's also crazy to me that A.J. Dillon went ahead of Dalvin Cook. I mean, I've talked enough smack on Dalvin Cook, but it's not because of his talent. It's more about just, landing spot and situations like that. But behind A.J. Dillon, what?
You know where this puts us now with our structure, which I think we can maybe open up the tight end tab and open up the QB tab a little bit and kind of see where because you know who I wouldn't mind on this build either is Russell Wilson. It's their second quarterback.
Yes, I love that backdoor build, that backdoor stack with Jeudy. I wish that we could have gotten Dulcich, but trying to do a little triple stack with that, but because we all know how high I am on that long-haired man. But man, is Kincaid still out there, bruh?
I saw that, bruh.
It was an ironic, bro. It was an ironic.
If you say that in Canton, I will not walk away. Yeah, I noticed him too. I don't even hate. I'm looking at week 10. So that's keep that in mind. That really kind of eliminates Higbee as far as tight ends go. But yeah, Kincaid's fine. Laporta's fine.
Yeah,
like those are really good options that we can, certainly ponder. Running back too, because we have to build out a running back room a little bit, and I think we can take, if there's a wide receiver we really like that shouldn't be on the board, I think we could entertain that too. Out of Kadarius Toney he is a landmine I'm not touching anymore.
Yep.
I
unfortunately wrote about him as a breakout because I was listening to what Brett Veach was saying and how he was a first round talent and blah, 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 blah. And then the freaking injury happened. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I am not putting any eggs in the Kadarius Toney basket because he just can't stay healthy. And we've talked about it so many times. Like, we don't want to say that players are injury prone, anything like that. But when it's consistent and it's a knee and you had to go get a procedure before the season, that's as big of a red flag as you're going to get.
Yeah, we will always have that Kadarius Toney game with the Giants against the Cowboys. We will always have that. Nobody could take that away from us. But I know, right? But that's it's like it's the Wolverine meme where he's got the picture frame and it's just that Kadarius Toney shot of him catching that ball on the sideline. That's what we got. That's all we're gonna pretty much get from him. Rashad Bateman goes. I think that's a pretty good pick there. Now we're getting into the really. We'll let everybody else take the gross wide receivers. We'll let them take the Odell Beckhams and the Juju Smith-Schusters. Sorry, I know that's kind of slander, but Allen Lazard certainly.
I think Lazard has enough upside, just because how much Aaron Rodgers likes him in the red zone. I think that is his one redeeming quality. And would I take him in a redraft? Probably not. I don't know when to put him in my lineup in redraft. But in best ball, he does have enough equity in the red zone that I don't feel terrible about taking him.
No, I don't either. Looking at these running backs, I mean, my bags are pretty packed to the rim on Zach Charbonnet. I know it's a bit scary with the shoulder. I don't know. I think everything is kind of murky now, but there's still 5 weeks to the season. So that's where I kind of stand on. I don't think this is going to be like a 2-3 month thing where we're still talking about this in week 4 or 5 with either Charbonnet or Ken Walker. Remember, what was it? Ken Walker had a groin injury about this time too last year.
It was a hernia. He has a groin injury now.
Yeah. Anyway, he had an injury at this time, missed week 1, and then was on the field week 2 through. But
I think I'm
Brock
looking
Purdy.
more. I know. That's crazy. Man. It's not crazy. It's a number 2. It's a number 2 quarterback, but I mean, if you're drafting Brock Purdy at that spot, you're looking for pure floor and very low upside, which is kind of weird to be taking that situation. There goes Kincaid, my baby. No.
So for me, I don't know how you feel about this, but as far as these quarterbacks go, because I know they will start going now.
Yep.
For Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Goff, Rodgers, they're all flat to me. So I would be fine just locking up Russell Wilson and with one of these 2 picks. I think we'll have our shot whether we want to do it. And then maybe take a running back and get Russell Wilson on the wrap.
You know who's still sitting out there that I think would make for a really awesome triple stack is Jerick McKinnon. Yes. He has so much work in the passing game. And I know that you hate old and dusty running backs because you're ageist.
He doesn't count. He catch passes.
Exactly. And we pair him up with Mahomes. Do you know how much touchdown equity we'll get between him and Kelsey? We almost have to. We almost have to take him here.
We got to make the bet. This is the bet on Kansas City, where if it's not going to be the wide receivers, it's going to be Kelce clearly, but who is going to be the other guy? So I think taking Jerick McKinnon, I think that's a lock here.
Yes.
And then you want to do Russell Wilson coming on the way back and lock it up?
Yep. I think that's perfect. Because I think you're right. I think that
they're all going to cannibalize each other.
Quarterback panic is going to happen. And and the wide receivers. But there are, let's see, there's one team that doesn't have any quarterbacks, several that only have one. And so we're in a good spot to grab our second while everybody else just kind of grabs for the dregs at the bottom of the barrel.
We could stick it to JJ. Maybe thinking about Dulcich and then taking Russell Wilson on the wrap. We could stick it to him.
Yeah, let's do that. Yes, he did take my long-haired baby.
I got a bone to pick with JJ Zachariason. 2 years, was it 2 to 3 years ago? He took me to he put in the 102 group chat in Scott Fishbowl, take Saquon Barkley and log out. Never forgot that. So you know what? That was what Ray. Yeah, he got hurt. Yeah, and remember he was out for the season. Saquon to log out. Oh, never forgot it. I hope
you know what. We can't predict injuries. We say this all the time.
But it affected me. It affected me. Damn it! It affected me in one of the greatest charity leagues going on God's green earth.
Well, my Scott Fishbowl last year was plagued by injury. Every single person I feel like every single person on every single one of my teams got hurt last year. It was very not good.
The teams I draft, they look so good on paper, and then Kyle Pitts falls off the cliff. DeAndre Hopkins is obviously out for 6 games, but I drafted like DJ Moore, who was DJ Moore on the Chiefs or on the Panthers. It was bad. It was not good. We'll take a Russell Wilson and just lock up quarterback.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Old Rusty.
He better not be rusty this year. I swear to God. He better be back to that.
There's adults in the room now, though. That's the thing.
That's true. That is true. And I think that it's so funny that Aaron Rodgers is like, Nathaniel Hackett's one of the best coaches out there. Well, if he was, why did they poop the bed so bad? Because he couldn't manage the clock. It was little basic things, you know what I mean? That he couldn't do.
Right. Like Aaron Rodgers, did you even see Nathaniel Hackett at Syracuse, bro? Come on.
Yeah. It was, which also makes this week 5 matchup so much more interesting because these two teams have beef, big beef with each other.
And now we got, divisional matchups. Look, we got Jerry Jeudy and Russell Wilson. We get those twice a year. We got the, we didn't get any Chargers, but for week 17. But look, now the quarterback, we started a quarterback run.
Yep. Well, we knew that it was going to happen, right? Yep. We looked at what was on the board. We knew that those kind of mid to late QB2s were about to start flying off the board. Yeah, we done did it. We done did it. Yeah. Actually, I guess I can say that it was probably the Daniel Jones drafter that semi started it, but I'm gonna give us credit.
Yeah, we're taking this. Because Rashee Rice gummed up the works. Yes. So Russell Wilson, we started it.
100%. And I do love that correlation. Man.
Me too.
And now everybody's panicking about quarterback. So there's going to be some juicy tight end value on the board.
Yeah. Already, we're looking any of these guys I am perfectly happy with as our second tight end. Dalton Schultz just went. I was just going to say Dalton Schultz, even Okonkwo, I'm fine with. Gerald Everett could be the Chargers bring back on the Denver stuff. Mm-hmm. Sam Laporta.
I love Laporta.
Oh, my rookie, 4 of my 6 top exposures on Underdog are all rookies, and Laporta is one of them. I think I have him at 20% right now.
Well, he's just so cheap, and so many of these rookies are so cheap, and they have so much upside. Not only do they have upside and talent, but they're in great situations.
Right.
The Jameson Williams situation today coming out that he apparently punched an undrafted rookie corner who was drafting him because he couldn't hang and he was dropping balls. I mean, even when he comes back, if that's how he's playing, Laporta's still going to have a very solid role in this offense. And that's something that I'm looking forward to. And if the Lions are the team that everybody has been building them up to be, I mean, they're going to be highly efficient, and he's going to have a role.
Yeah,
I'm really sad we didn't get Gibbs on that.
Yeah, that would have been. I mean, I was honestly thinking about that because I know you're not as high on Pollard, even as a Cowboy fan. I am still pretty high on Pollard, but the fact that if we can talk about what could have and what we got, we're still obviously very happy with. But it would have been really nice to get a Jahmyr Gibbs in there between Kelce and Mahomes, or even if he came back to us. I don't think he's gone that high in any of the Pros versus Joes. I mean, he went at 205.
It's that hype today. It's that whole thing about the usage. I mean, people are buying into that big time.
If Bijan Robinson didn't exist, and where would Jahmyr get? Would he be getting the rookie hype? Above, maybe going into the 1-2 turn?
No,
I think he'd be going higher.
Did you see the Lions today? The video from their war room during the draft? They were talking about taking him over Bijan. Had the Falcons not taken Bijan at 8, they were going to take Gibbs regardless, which is, I mean, it sounds insane to me, but they had a plan for him. They already knew that Montgomery was their guy on the ground and that Gibbs was going to be that pass catching guy, and they knew what they wanted. Now, I will say, looking at what Robinson has done during camp, it feels like all the highlights that I've seen from him have been pass catching clips, which is a little weird because everyone's like, oh, he's just a runner, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't catch passes. He kind of got the Kenneth Walker treatment to an extent this season. Yeah. But when Desmond Ritter's throwing you the ball, you got to lean heavily on your running back.
Yep. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm very interested in how this whole Lions.
Oh no, Pat,
you're dead to me. I'm just kidding. Not really.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just got
you're good.
Just got verklempt.
Verklempt. That's a great word. I don't hear that enough. I wouldn't be surprised if you just double tap tight end here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still really good running backs out there. I'm looking at running backs. God, there's my perfect tier of, and there's the Charbonnet's still out there too, where
people are scared.
But are you scared in the 13th round?
No, that's what I mean. All right, the 13th round is fine for me.
I mean, there comes a point of a line of demarcation here where they go from, okay, well, we're scared, we're going to bypass him, to we can't pass him up anymore. We're starting to get to that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Charbonnet went here, honestly.
Yeah, pair him up with Ken Walker.
Damien Harris. That was another guy I was looking at. That's a guy I draft a lot too, because there's just so much touchdown equity. Josh Allen obviously got the huge contract. Now they kind of sub out Devin Singletary. They had Cook playing, obviously. Now it's Cook and Harris. I think there's a lot of touchdown equity to be had in Buffalo. Obviously, it's an elite offense, but Harris doesn't even have to do a lot to A, be efficient, and B, score a lot of touchdowns. And he's even probably got a little bit more pass catching upside than we think. I don't think he's a total Gus Edwards 0 there. I think that he could at least be better than he was in that role, than he was in the Patriots. I mean, he was never really given a shot to do it, but he doesn't have to be a 0. And even if he gets 30 targets, that's fine. As long as you got the touchdown upside to it, which he clearly does. And then you're going to be getting, 4.2 to 4.5 yards per carry, getting 170 carries. That's 800 yards, double-digit touchdowns, and you're getting that in the 12th round?
Yeah, it all depends on how many Josh Allen vultures, because last season they said the same thing. They said that they weren't going to run Josh Allen as much, that they were going to rely on the running backs more, and it still ended up being a lot of Josh Allen. The situation this year, though, is very different because you're going from Singletary, who was 5'7", 180, to James Cook, who's like almost 6 feet and 200 pounds. So that's a very different build of back that you have there. And I think that in his second season that Cook is going to be a lot better pass blocker. So he's going to be on the field a lot more. They just had to develop him a little bit before he got in there. Damn it, Tank went.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's so many good running backs out there still, which like just looking at this, I think we're going to have our pick of, that entire tier of running back here. I'm excited about a lot of these options. There's a couple obviously I'm more excited about that we can kind of play, just make our bet on with like a guy like, I don't even want to say names now. I'm afraid I'm watching.
Nobody's watching.
Well, no, but I'm gonna jinx it and Voldemort it, and that's just the way it goes.
That is true. I feel that way putting people in my queue. I don't want to put them in my queue because as soon as I do, somebody takes them.
Right. The queue is empty right now because I don't want to put that juju into the universe.
Yes.
I am very, very superstitious. Like when I played baseball, like I ate the same thing before I played. I wore my stirrups the same way, like the same notch on my belt. Like the Charbonnet goes. That's a really good price on Zach Charbonnet.
That's
I don't
very
care.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to have to be good because J.K. Dobbins probably ain't playing. I'm very concerned about Dobbins.
We can think about old Gus Edwards later on.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well, they don't forget about whole Melvin Gordon.
Oh, God. I'd rather draft Justice Hill than Melvin Gordon.
I just wanted to see the look on your face.
Oh, Melvin Gordon. Don't. I'm going to have to call 911. My blood pressure just spiked. All right.
Sorry, Kevin. That was very mean of me.
It's okay. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but you know what? What did Wendy say about Melvin Gordon last year? I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I want him off the field.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And she got her wish.
She did.
She was right.
Yeah. Melvin Gordon's football dreams.
Murray.
I was going to say, Melvin Gordon's Broncos dream died so Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack could live.
Oh, man. How does this affect Marlon Mack?
How does this affect Amon-Ra St. Brown? These are the real questions.
Oh, man. And that is still such a running joke on Sleeper. Every single thing. How does this affect Marlon Mack?
Damn it.
Jaylen Warren. Yeah. Yep. He was one I was looking at too. But you know who is out there? Algier.
It was either him or Roschon that I was looking at as far as an upside swing, where obviously Algier is if Bijan isn't like the second coming of what.
I think Algier has upside regardless because they're going to have to spell Bijan, and as much as I've seen them work him into the passing game, I think that
I think Roschon's has more bust potential, has more of a zero in your lineup potential versus Algier, who I think is going to be out there regardless. I think he proved himself to be worthy of being on the field, even with Bijan Robinson. So Algier, come on down. Gerald Everett was the guy I was looking at to maybe come back.
Yeah. But Gesicki's still out here.
There you go.
I really like him. I really, really like him in this offense.
You're not twisting my arm one bit on Mike Gesicki.
Beautiful. I love it.
But there's 2 picks. He has 1 tight end, so I know.
I know. I'm just watching.
I think if Gesicki goes, we have a decision. I think we can maybe. I'm trying to think here because I'm looking at wide receivers. Jameson Williams could be a nice way to. I mean, look, we're talking about 13th round wide receiver. We've got 5. If we're in best ball, we don't have to set him in our lineup.
I think I would rather have Lazard. Oh, he went, so we don't have to make that decision. So
I do think we have to revisit wide receiver at probably the next turn. But if we get, this is the pick, I think he's going to take a tight end, and I'm hoping it's like Dawson Knox or somebody.
Yeah. I think this is going to be.
who I don't mind Dawson Knox. I just don't see the upside with him in that offense. It's really, is he going to get a touchdown that week?
Yes. And he's so much, I mean, he's like that inline blocker dude. Like, and especially bringing in Kincaid, that just like bumped his ceiling all the way down underground.
Yep. Agreed. Do you want perfect?
Beautiful. Yes. Love him here.
All right.
And you know that Bill Belichick is going to use Gesicki how he should be used. If you look at the state of that wide receiver room on top of it, he was the one who came out and said, Gesicki is not a tight end. He's a wide receiver. And if you look at the state of the wide receiver room in New England, I mean,
Not
how
great,
much
Bob.
more perfect could it get for Gesicki?
Why do you think I'm drafting so much Tyquan Thornton everywhere? Like they have no juice in that offense. Like the inexplicable extension of Devontae Parker, which by the way, if you need an agent, like go get his, because I want that guy fighting for me. You kidding me? Or whoever it is. But you know, we're looking at Juju Smith-Schuster. We're looking at just all these names. Tyquan Thornton, we're talking about a second rounder who, he flashed in a couple games. I remember our group chat where I played Tyquan Thornton at 3K on DraftKings. Remember Gary was like, how did you know to put him in there that week?
Yeah.
So we know he has that potential. It's just really getting more on the field. I mean, he was on the field quite a bit, but he wasn't running anywhere close to his starters' share of routes. So, hopefully his juice in that offense and adding Gesicki in there too clearly gets some juice as well. So a team that absolutely needs it, the Patriots, if Mac Jones is going to go full on with Bill O'Brien in that offense, and that's another offense where the adults are back in the room with, Joe Judge and good God.
Pencil Matt Patricia. I called him today on my show, Pencil Puppet Matt Patricia.
I like it. And
I didn't even have that planned, but it fits so well.
The alliteration.
Yeah, the pencil puppet.
So a lot of these, the wide receivers are iffy. I mean, I don't mind Zay Jones because I think that offense is more condensed than people realize. And if Calvin Ridley's been getting talked up a lot in Jags camp, but I still think Zay Jones keeps a role on that team, even with Kirk as the third wide receiver. I mean, he's going to be that guy that's coming out once they condense down to two wide receivers, but I still like him there, at least at that price. Tyler Boyd goes. That was at least back in my mind, but I wouldn't have wanted to take him there. Raheem Mostert, Zeke Elliott goes.
I will say that Zeke was spotted having dinner with Mac Jones on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, I heard that he was sitting on the same side of the booth as Mac Jones too. So they could have gone full on Lady and the Tramp.
I was going to say Lady and the Tramping. No, I saw the picture. They were not. They were having a professional dinner. But yeah, I think that really kind of says volumes. And also, if you look at the state of the Patriots offensive line, it's got big question marks, right? And Zeke is such a good pass protector and pass blocker. It makes sense for them to sign him, even if he doesn't get the carries. Like I think if Zeke does go to New England, he's not really going to be a threat to Ramondre like we think. I think he's going to be mainly used in the pass protection game, the pass blocking game, and he's going to be used on goal line. And that's going to be his role. Ramondre is still going to get pass work, all that stuff. But in the 13th, 14th, I need glasses. I can't see. Late 13th, I think it's worth taking a chance on him there.
I mean, what you're hoping for is LeGarrette Elliott, basically.
Yeah.
That's the hope. I mean, that's a Andrew Cooper bingo square. LeGarrette Blount scored 18 touchdowns for the Patriots. It was like RB 8. So,
and everybody talked about how that was the only thing that Zeke was good at. Well, okay, who cares? It's best ball.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I could see, you think about these players and you ever think about like, could I see him wearing that uniform? Like I could see Zeke wearing a Patriots uniform.
It makes me sick to my stomach. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know. It's a sore subject.
No, I said something today after Ronald Jones got suspended, who we all forgot that Ronald Jones was even on the Cowboys. I was like, just please bring Zeke back. This isn't even funny. It's not even a bit at this point. Just bring Zeke back. Let him get out there with Zach Martin being gone. We need help in the pass protection game. Just bring him back, please.
Well, yeah.
It's just
well, you know what? You know what? There's always Hunter Lupke.
Oh my God.
There will
Did
be
you
no
see who
Hunter.
Seattle signed today, actually?
Alex Collins.
No.
Oh, it seems like he's the guy they always sign.
No, they do. And I actually met Alex Collins when he first came to school at Arkansas.
Right.
He came to a Buffalo Wild Wings and sat down and then introduced himself to me and said that he was going to change the game. And that was the first thing Alex Collins ever said to me. And he was really good in college. Yeah, he was awesome.
And and has been pretty good in the pros too. And with the Ravens, like when he was pretty much the starter there in 2019, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so the Seahawks signed rookie running back SaRodorick Thompson from Texas Tech. And undrafted, which tells you everything that you need to know about how willing they are to dip their toes into the free agent running back market. If that's happening.
That's kind of damning, I feel like. I mean, we get examples every day about how running backs are just thrown to the scrap heap, and we've still had the same four guys out there since the entire offseason. But God, it's almost like we're looking at
Sony Michel retiring and they signed Royce Freeman. They don't even work any of these other big guys out. Like, that tells you all you need to know.
That's funny because Royce Freeman for the Texans last year, like at the end of the season, wasn't even like that bad. Wasn't good, but he wasn't that bad. By the way, Jeff Wilson, a guy I'm drafting almost everywhere, that would have been a locked in pick, I think, if he got to us.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think especially, I was just going to say with Miami apparently out on the Dalvin Cook sweepstakes, it makes him a lot bigger value.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is probably a wide receiver and a running back pick, or potentially two wide receivers, and we could probably either be done or close to done with wide receivers, because we have 5, but I think we do need to get to like at least 7, I would say.
Lazard is on there. I know that you hate him. But I love his red zone. Lazard.
Oh.
He's still out there. Just please stay there. Please stay there.
Scott Connor, Dynasty and Chill, I think is going to take Alan Lazard here. Jay Cohen here at 105, at the 1408 wants to take Alan Lazard. Oh, I think that's just a locked-in pick there for Jay Cohen. I mean, JJ Zachariason. If Aaron Rodgers, you got to stack him up with Alan Lazard. I don't see any. Bob Vieira has only 5 wide receivers. I think Alan Lazard would be just a locked-in pick at this spot.
I'm putting it into the universe.
I don't see how he doesn't take Alan Lazard here. It's a screaming value for his particular build at 1410.
We should never be silent on radio, but we're being silent right now because we're just waiting with bated breath.
building the drama. So I will be willing to capitulate on the only Alan Lazard share on the only Alan Lazard share I'm going to get. I have not drafted him in any league on Underdog, but I am more
14th round.
Please, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change.
Listen, that touchdown equity, that red zone equity, you said it earlier. All you need is a touchdown. Right?
We are taking Alan Lazard here in the 14th round. It is famously point per block in this league as well. So I think we're getting a really good value here on the pancake blocking ability of Alan Lazard, who should be on the field 85 to 90% of the time. with a nice targets per out run of about 13%. So I think we got locked up that in the 14th round. I think that was a great pick.
Listen, do not hate on Alan Lazard. This is best ball, not redraft.
But you know what? We got the Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard correlation there. So
that's true. See?
Yeah.
Brains. Subconscious brains. No, I do love that. I think that's great.
We do have 4 running backs. You could probably take another one here. Zamir White goes. There's 2 that I'm looking at that kind of stick out to me as far as guys that could have immediate week 1 standalone value.
Mm-hmm.
Gus Edwards and Deonta Foreman.
I was looking at Foreman. Yep. I think that Chicago did a ton to kind of stabilize that line. And Foreman's been good. Like he's come in relief over the past 2 years, and he doesn't have that wear and tear on him that a bunch of these other guys do. So I prefer Foreman personally, but
I'm good with either of those guys. I think both are going to, at least because we're going to have to likely wait out a Kamara suspension. Tyler Algier is still kind of a contingent play, even though I think he will have some standalone value. Aaron Jones, McKinnon are going to be out there, but I think just at least locking up Deonta Foreman in that offense, I think that's going to be really good for us. So I do like that pick a lot.
Yep. Let's tap it.
This is really shaping up as a pretty nice squad, I got to say.
It looks really nice. It looks very balanced and a lot of good combination with solid floor and high upside to kind of even it out. You know what I mean?
And we get the Algier Foreman correlation too. Look at that.
Yes. Look at us building correlation that we're not even aware of. I love this.
Look, anytime that we can build out, the always unique Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard bet in the 8th and 14th round, I think we got to do it. So
I will say, I don't think anybody knows more about correlation at this point than you do. I feel like you've got everything memorized.
I do. I still have most of week 17 from last year too. And I put out a tweet a few weeks ago about this, that when I remember next year's week 17 matchups, I'm going to forget something like basic. Like I'm going to forget how to like swim or something, just because that's going to like displace something in my brain. Like I'm going to forget how to like ride a bike or like a bike combination or something like that. It's inevitable. And you know what? It's for the greater good. I would rather be able to service our great listeners with week 17 correlations than being able to unlock my bike at the park.
That's why I never learned how to ride a bike, so that I would have the extra space.
Look, 3 wheels are better than 2. I've been saying.
No, I don't know how to ride anything. I don't know how to ride anything. I never learned how to ride a bike, how to roller skate.
Oh, I cannot roller skate. I cannot ice skate.
Ice skating seems like a death trap.
It really is.
Kidding me?
Just looking at ice skates, my ankle is already broken.
Yep. Nope. Don't need that.
Nope. All right. So we're in the last 5. We have 5 picks left.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm doing the NFFC best ball. I think it's the Fantasy Pros. It's the 34 round league. I don't know if you've seen those on Wednesday. It's $150. I'm doing it. The ship chasing, they're doing it, and Jacob Sanderson's in it as well. So I am really excited to take Justin Watson in the 27th round and take team kickers and team defenses. I am gearing up with, I got depth charts upon depth charts, just waiting to look and see, how far I can take Durham Smythe.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my Jesus. It's okay. So tomorrow on A Better Sports Network, we're pairing up with the FSGA, and we are having our first ever college football draft.
Yep.
18 teams, 2 quarterback, not super flex, mind you, 2 quarterbacks that you have to start. And I think 30 rounds.
Oof.
So
you're gonna be drafting like 8th graders at the end of this.
Yeah, it's gonna be Very, very interesting.
Does Peyton Manning have any more kids?
I'm 9, so I'm directly smack in the middle. So it is going to be just for me.
Does Peyton Manning have any kids you can draft? Any more kids, I should say?
I mean,
lock them up when you can get them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like a campus to Canton. I think they already have to be like on active rosters. So I think there's only one right now. Is there only one, or is Archie a 2024? I don't even know. My brain is fried.
I'm lucky if I know who's playing in the NFL right now. So that is your wheelhouse specifically. I'm gonna cede the floor. That's all you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a look here. So Tim Patrick, I would say we're probably not drafting.
No.
Probably not. But you know what? There's still good wide receivers out here. I don't want to be that guy who's going back on saying that tight end or wide receiver is deep, because it's really not. But it's about picking and choosing and being kind of judicious with it. There's still a few good options who I think if one of those 3, 4 get to us, I think we got a shot at least locking up wide receiver after that pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, let's see. Let me use the old filter. Man, yeah, there's a lot of high upside guys down here.
I'm going to put it in the private chat. It's not the queue.
So we don't say it out loud.
Yeah, so we don't put it out there in the ether. Actually, now it's 4. Now that I'm going through here.
Okay.
That is my preferred order as well.
Yep, I can get down with that for sure. Who did Pat select? I think that.
Oh, he took Hunter Henry, and I was going to say Michael Mayer. I saw an M, so it almost had to be Michael Mayer.
Okay,
but
so there's Reed.
4 tight ends, the famous 4 tight end build.
And then JJ only has 1 still. He only has Dulcich.
He might be taking Durham Smythe by the time it gets back to him. I mean, let me look at here are the tight ends that are available right now. There's still decent options though. Trey McBride, Taysom Hill, Jelani Woods, likely Jake Ferguson, Noah Fant, Luke Musgrave, Kate Otten, Logan Thomas. And then it gets absolutely disgusting after that. So like there's options at your second tight end, but if I'm taking Dulcich, you really have to have a strong conviction on Greg Dulcich. I would be at least taking 2, if not 3 more.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with him. And Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. I mean, Jerry's still out on Love, and there Trey McBride goes right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna rehash the old Denny Carter. Like, I love your wide receivers. I don't love the running backs.
Yeah. Yep. This is interesting. I love it when we get down into these deep down dirty rounds, because that's when you have to really have to go back and figure out, did this build work for me, or did I just blow the whole thing? Once you get into these late rounds,
right? Because you're pot committed once you get into the 7th, 8th round. Like you just have to go with it. Like you can't just pivot, really. And I mean, you can pivot off like actual players, but you really need to be like locked in on how your structure is going, because you can't play 2 structures. Like for ours, we had the luxury of taking tight end and quarterback. So we were done until the mid to late rounds. And we took Russell Wilson, Mike Gesicki. I would say we could take a quarterback. I just don't know what's going to be out there. And I don't think it's even a necessity to take another quarterback, because if we're making the bet on Kansas City, if something happens, I think we're almost dead in the water as it is.
Yeah, I mean, the only real quarterbacks left out there are CJ Stroud, Sam Howell, Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, Desmond Ridder, and Baker Mayfield. So
not great, Bob.
Yeah, I would rather take a position player. Jake Ferguson getting sniped. I'm pretty sure that JJ had his eye on Ferguson.
Yeah, Jelani Woods.
Oh, he takes Jelani. Okay.
We have one guy left. What's that?
Who's hurt, by the way?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We have one guy left on our... God damn it.
Well, live reaction, live TV, folks.
Well, you know what? You know who is still out there that we're talking about with Deonta Foreman is Gus Edwards. Also,
I like Mechie
I do.
out there.
I was going to say John Mechie. That's the other guy I was going to say. So I'm totally fine taking the. You want to just take him and then take check out running back on the way back.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Did you see Mechie's highlights today?
I have not seen a lot on Twitter, actually. I did a lot of off the computer work today, so I've not been at my best as far as keeping up on a lot of the news.
Well, I've just basically had one face this way and one face this way, doing the double duty. But what I have seen of Mechie is that, I mean, he looks good. He doesn't look rusty at all, which you would think coming off of an ACL and then freaking leukemia that he would look rusty. But no, he looks fast. His routes are fluid. His cuts are crisp. He looks really good. I'm excited for him this season.
And if I'm going to make a bet on anybody on the Texans as far as wide receivers or pass catchers, like I prefer to make it now because you've got options like Robert Woods, you've got Tank Dell if you want to go deeper in there. But Mechie, you know, compared to taking Nico Collins in the 10th round, like I'm not entirely sold. I mean, Nico Collins is probably like the incumbent, but I'm not entirely sold on Nico Collins just taking this massive step forward that when you're taking him in the 10th round with, you know, a round where Rashad Bateman and Michael Thomas, like you really have to be convinced in that bet. And I can't get to that.
Yeah, no, again, I'm going to harp on this. We don't want to say, well, he's injured all the time, but Collins has been injured his entire NFL career and he's never done anything. And so I just don't think that he's going to have that big upside that everybody thinks that he will. And then even going back to Mechie's college days, I think that Mechie might actually be the better wide receiver out of Jameson Williams in the NFL by the time that this is all said and done. Not just because of the suspension, not just because of the ACL, but looking at the speed and the route running ability. I love him. All right. Who we looking at here? We looking at Gus?
I would say it's either Gus, Leonard Fournette, or I actually took a look. Like Luke Musgrave isn't even that bad of a pick, but we could probably entertain him on the next turn. But I mean, taking a running back here, who you like Gus, you like Fournette?
That's hard. I think I prefer Fournette talent-wise, but let's go Gus because we know that Dobbins has a situation and let's go Gus. I want to play it safe here.
I mean, Gus has always been just so efficient when he has gotten the ball. What is the Andrew Cooper stat? And that's another bingo card. What's it? 5 yards per carry. Just in his career. And it's like, he's the one name that sticks out with like Jamal Charles and, running backs like that. So 6 running backs. And I would say Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Jerick McKinnon, Tyler Algier, Deonta Foreman, Gus Edwards. I mean,
yeah, I feel really good about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could probably be done at running back, maybe take a guy in the last round, but we have 7 wide receivers as well. So right now we're at 2, 6, 7, 2 right now with 3 picks left. It's like really who's going to be out there. And I looked at CJ Stroud and I thought about it for a second too, but that's really a luxury.
Yeah.
Even if he got back with Mechie, but yeah,
no, we don't even need.
Right. Cause if, one of those guys goes down, we're kind of screwed anyway. So,
you know who I'm looking at kind of as a last round guy that I think might be sneaky good this year?
Do we want to mention it? Put it in the private chat.
Okay. I'll put it in the chat. Because
there's a guy I've been drafting when I've been on the clock in Underdog. I haven't thought of, you know what? That's actually a pretty sneaky pick, and I do like that. I'm going to put the guy that I was just talking about in here, and I want to know what you think, obviously without...
The audio listeners are like, why are they gatekeeping?
We are bringing the audio listeners on a thrill ride right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the other guy that's ahead of him is even in consideration too. But I know that he, obviously his wrist, we kind of gave the bag away there a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, they're one of the teams though that I think
is in line now to bring somebody in.
Yeah. I mean, they would probably play for cheaper, and I don't know, man. That's interesting. I would.
Who are we talking about, audio listeners? Be sure to let us know at LR Fantasy.
We'll send you a gift basket.
Yes, we will send you. I will send you 7 fantasy alarm koozies that I did not get from JB Berry last year off of a truck.
I still only have 2 of those koozies, and I don't know how I ended up with only 2.
I got like literally 7 of them, and I think I just took them and I put them in my pockets.
Just the entire time. Just koozie.
I think it was when we were at the stadium. We were coming back from the Saturday stadium.
Was that when the guy yelled at us in the Uber? No, that was during the day on Saturday.
No, that was the guy that's like, where you, or was it,
where are you going?
Right? Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we're going to our Airbnb. Why are you yelling at us?
Is that okay with you, sir?
Yeah, that was the weirdest situation.
Man. Yeah, I'm taking a look at some of these squads. Pat's 1, 2, 6 wide receivers right now, 4 tight ends. He's still 5 running backs, and he took 3 early, so he can afford to kind of he can do whatever, but he's still got to take a quarterback. He only has Lamar, and right now he's probably looking at Mac Jones or there you go.
Yep. Oof.
He might end up taking both, honestly. If he takes both, him and Jimmy G.
That's betting a lot on Lamar's health.
Well, I mean, it's really the ROI. I mean, he took Hunter Henry, Mac Jones. I mean, he took Mayer, so Garoppolo might be in play too.
He could be. I actually, hot take here, but I actually like Austin Hooper this year over Mayer, because I think that Mayer is going to be asked to block more in this scheme his first year. And I think that Austin Hooper is going to have a much bigger passing role than people think.
Could see that. You could absolutely see that.
I think Mayer is the quintessential rookie tight end that doesn't do well in his first season.
I can see that.
What are you doing?
I would not be surprised if, because we know how unhappy Davante Adams is right now. He's filling out his bet on New England in the passing game. We know how unhappy Davante Adams is. Would you be surprised if they traded Davante Adams midseason? Like, I wouldn't be. If they just decided, you know what, we're blowing it up. Josh Jacobs Josh Jacobs holds out. They're running out Zamir White and Amir Abdullah and Brandon Bolden, and they have all their slot receivers like Jacoby Myers and Hunter Renfrow. They don't end up trading him, but they trade Davante Adams to get something for him. I could see that offense just completely imploding and just playing for the draft in 2024.
Yep. No, I went over their win totals on Friday, and there is not a lot of games that I see them winning. I'm very surprised that their win total is at 6.5. I think that that's very generous, considering the fact that they have to play the entire AFC East and the AFC West is completely stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rumors about Davante Adams potentially wanting to be traded to the Jets, like mid-season, if the Raiders aren't contending and the Jets are, like, Rodgers freed up $35 million. What?
Does Aaron Rodgers think he's LeBron? Does he think he's LeBron?
He's just collecting players like Pokemon.
I mean, what is Aaron Rodgers' track record? Bringing in Randall Cobb everywhere he goes, bringing in Al Lazard, good. My hands are clean.
You're like, I don't have to deal with it anymore. So
I don't.
Fine.
I get to deal with young, sexy Jordan Love and seeing if he could be the guy this year. I mean, don't look at my past tweets about Jordan Love, please. Jordan Love is going to be the future of the Green Bay Packers. So what are we doing here?
I don't know. I'm just, at this point, I'm not getting anybody in my sights. I'm just kind of looking, and looking at what everybody else is doing.
I have a name.
You know who I like?
Let me take a look here. You know who I do like, and he'd be some correlation. If we didn't get Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, I don't
I like
hate it.
him. I like Thornton. Richie James was another guy too.
I
That would have
still,
been.
you know that I'm on the Josh Downs train,
I know.
and we didn't get Pierce. We were going after Pierce.
Yeah. Do we want to
It's up,
grab
it's up to
what?
you. I'll let you do it. You
All
make
right.
this pick.
Well, I'm gonna go with Khalil Shakir.
Okay.
And who do you like for the way back? Because we can do whatever we want. I mean, if you wanted a third tight end, we can do that too.
I think we can do the third tight end
At the last pick.
at the last pick. Yeah. Especially
Okay.
that one particular guy. And he is totally random. And, we haven't seen a lot from him, but the guy in front of him has been perennially hurt. His offensive coordinator has built in heavy tight end usage to his offensive scheme. And I just, for a last round, in the 20th round, why not? Audio listeners, we'll send you a gift basket if you could figure out who we're talking about.
Let us know at LR Fantasy. We will recap the team for the audio listeners as soon as these two picks are made in front of us. Do we want to take your guy here if he comes back, the guy you put in the chat?
I would like to, if that's okay.
Hey, my bags are packed on this guy, so not going to Voldemort it.
Yep, we're waiting because he's had some pretty spicy highlights too.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy we're talking about being an early day 2 pick that ended up falling, and now he's at the end of drafts. Like, these are the guys that, Jalen Hyatt went in the 16th round, but like him, that, I just don't get how the perception versus the talent. Now, then there's opportunity clearly on both teams too. 12 seconds. Come on, man.
I know they're milking the clock.
Bleeding it.
Milking it.
Terrace Marshall. All right, so we're taking Josh Downs.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. I have, so if we are locked into that pick, I'll put him in the queue. I don't think anybody's going to take him.
I don't think so either. That's why I said I think that we can punt him, and he's like kind of a secret spicy weapon.
He is. I mean, what's his 14? All right. We get some touchdowns out of him.
Yeah.
All right. So
now we're just playing the waiting game.
We really are. And while we do that, I will review this team here from top to bottom. We did have the 102. Remember, this is FFPC Pros versus Joes. So 6 Joes, which are early entrants into the main events. They make up the Joes. The Pros, obviously us, Kevin Tompkins, Britt, Flinn, Andrew Cooper, who's not here, but JJ Zachariason, Scott Connor from Dynasty and Chill, Josh Hayes from Rotoballer, Jared Smola, Draft Sharks, and Pat Kerrane from Ship Chasing and Legendary Upside make up the Joes in this draft. Famously tight end premium, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 2 flex, and 1.5 per reception for the tight end position. 102, we took Travis Kelce, came back around to take his quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy. So we've gotten a couple wide receivers there. Aaron Jones is our anchor running back. 3 straight wide receivers with Michael Pittman, Jordan Addison, and Elijah Moore. Alvin Kamara, Jerick McKinnon, 2 more running backs. Russell Wilson is our second quarterback in the 11th round. Stacking up some of our depth here with Tyler Algier in the 12th, Mike Gesicki, 13th, Alan Lazard, points per blocking also in this league. Deonta Foreman, John Mechie, Gus Edwards, Khalil Shakir, and Josh Downs make up our first 19 selections. We are 12 picks away from our 20th and final round selection. Britt, how do you feel about the squad?
Yeah, I actually feel really good about this. I always feel good about a draft when I leave it. So we'll just have to see, because inevitably injuries and weird stuff happens. But like I said earlier, I think that we have a real good combination of high floor and high ceiling with these plays. And I think, especially in a best ball format, since we don't have to figure out who to plug and play from week to week, like we've got a really balanced, very spicy team.
Yeah, I do like it. And I think it's very structurally sound as well. I don't think we have any glaring weaknesses. We've got 6 running backs, but we did take one in the 5th and then 2 in the mid rounds, kind of before that. I'd say before that sweet spot of like where you want to take like the rookie running backs, but that still clearly have floor and upside. That's why they're going a little bit higher than those rookies. So we're not taking like total mystery box options with Alvin Kamara. The only mystery box element he has is how many games he's going to be suspended, but we know when he is on the field, he's going to be utilized very well and very often. And then with the fact that we took Kelce at 102 allows us to really just do 2 tight ends with Mike Gesicki, who is an elite, as far as a elite receiving profile with the Patriots, and then also Russell Wilson as our second quarterback next to Patrick Mahomes. So if we expect to bounce back with the Broncos, we have Judy as well as Russell Wilson. So I'm very, very excited about this team. And also the fact that we really only got sniped once, really, I would say, with Alec Pierce. I mean, maybe I guess Rashad White, but
we were waffling on him anyway. We weren't like sold on him. I think Pierce was the one that we were.
Pierce was the guy that probably should have been taken like 2 or 3 rounds before.
Yeah. But I'm not mad about it though.
No, I'm not, because I think we've built out this wide receiver room pretty well. So, it's not like it was Alec Pierce is like the skeleton key to unlock the true potential of this team. Like he's not, he is a cog. But certainly a very high upside one in the Colts offense. So we are starting to get to
he did take Jimmy G. Okay.
Yeah. And he totally built out of a super stack there with Hunter Henry, Devontae Parker, Tyquan Thornton with Mac Jones. So look, those are guys that are all going to be on the field. So I don't hate that. I mean, I think that's a really, really good spot. And you know what? We got the wide receiver one anyway, Mike Gesicki. So we're good.
That's true. It is true.
It is now true. They do say that.
Our little secret weapon here at the end.
If he goes, shit's gonna hit the fan.
I don't think he's gonna go though.
No,
I don't think so. I think everybody else is fairly
tapped out on tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're getting into the dregs here. We're looking at Mecole Hardman, Chase Claypool, Garoppolo went on the 20th on the last pick, Michael Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, another name I was looking at, and I was, if we had like one more round, I would have said because the great part about the pick that we want is we could almost take, if we had like 2 more picks, we could have waited to that 22nd round to probably take that guy too. But like looking at what's out there, Deneric Prince, I would say, is at least an interesting name. We talked about with Isaiah Pacheco. Cordero Patterson is very interesting. I'm surprised he's still out there, honestly, because they've been saying that he's going to play a lot more wide receiver. He doesn't have to play the running back role. So I don't think he really infringes if we were to get, we have Algier, but if we were to also get like Cordero Patterson, he wouldn't infringe on it. It wouldn't be negatively correlated.
No, I think what's scaring people off of Patterson is the fact that Bijan, that Bijan has been working in the pass game. So he's taking away all of that upside that Patterson once had. And yeah, he is old and Atlanta doesn't throw. So like if Bijan's getting that work, what are we doing?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, all right. Let's see.
I don't think we have to worry.
I don't think so either. But
anything could happen.
I always worry until it actually gets to us. Oh, I think Gerald Everett was actually a snipe for you. I wasn't super high on him, but I know that you wanted him there. You were looking.
I don't have a lot of him. Greg Dortch is actually a guy I really like too. But Cole Turner, Washington Commanders, come on down.
Yeah. Eric
I,
Bieniemy utilizing those tight ends, those short
I will
routes.
I will bet you that we are the only person in Pros for Shows that has drafted Cole Turner.
You
So
know what? I like that. I like this differentiation. This unique build.
they do say you have to be unique in a best ball format.
You know, I think you do. And I don't necessarily hate that. There's Evan Hull. That
Evan Hall,
yep.
we put him in the chat. So yeah, our team is complete now, and I'm looking. I think we got as good a shot. I mean, the first prize for this, there's nothing for second, but if you win your 12-person league, you do get a main event slot for FFPC in 2024. So we are playing for first and nothing else because nothing else matters. Britt, I mean, I'm ready to draft the main event slot with you and Coop in 2024. Let's go win this 12-person league.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So again, thank you to everybody here. Thank you for also to FantasyMojo for extending an invite to us to get into this fantastic tournament. I know there's 6 other. This is I believe the 6th draft. There's a slow draft going on as well with some Pros versus Joes, but I think there's 7 drafts total. So I think there's one tomorrow as well. So there's 7 drafts total. The guys over at Goat District, I'm sorry, won the entire thing last year. The top 72 Pros versus Joes. So that would be great to do, but let's focus on this 12-person league. You know, it's all out of our hands at this point. All we have to do is let the games play.
Yep. We just sit back and let the Chiefs do what they do.
Exactly. All right. Britt, anything else before we get on out of here? I know we're doing a show in about 15 hours or so from time of this recording. It is Monday night here. So we've got lightning round at 1 Eastern, 12 Central, talking tight ends with Mr. Pat Fitzmaurice from Fantasy Pros. So very excited. We'll ask him what he thinks about Cole Turner. In Washington. We'll get a little, we need some of that reassurance. We took, Pat, we took him in the 20th round. What do you think? Please be as nice as you can about our differentiation from the field.
Yeah, I'm down with that. It fits perfectly. I'm not sure when this is going to be aired, so don't necessarily know what exactly to bring up, but obviously the Fantasy Alarm draft guide that's out there, lots of great info, the cheat sheets live, the Fantasy Alarm All Pro package, which gives you everything, and Britt's Fantasy Blitz Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in for that and a bunch of just quirky fantasy stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. Check that out, everybody. So I will recap it one more time here. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, Aaron Jones, Michael Pittman, Jordan Addison, Elijah Moore, Alvin Kamara, Jerick McKinnon, Russell Wilson, Tyler Algier, Mike Gesicki, Alan Lazard, Deonta Foreman, John Mechie, Gus Edwards, Khalil Shakir, Josh Downs, and the man who galvanizes our entire team, the guy that we are resting all of our hopes and dreams on, Cole Turner of the Washington Commanders.
Book it. That's a winner.
It is a winner. All right, we are out. Again, we will be at time of recording. It is Monday, but we will likely have done lightning round by the time that you do see this. So go check that out, of course, on the Fantasy Alarm or Better Sports Network YouTube channels. Leave a like, subscribe if you have not. We need to feed our kids, so that helps us do that. For Andrew Cooper, who could not be here, but we did draft this team specifically, not just for the main event, but for little Laney J. Cooper. So, anything else, Britt, before we sign off? I think I already asked you that, but
I'm good.
All right, for Britt, I'm Kevin Tompkins.